G'day guys, how you going? Another episode of Angler's Addiction, and it's been absolutely wet and woolly in Perth. Now when it's wet and woolly in Perth, of course you start coming up with all these different ideas about what you can do and whatnot, and I've come up with another silly one, and that is setting the pink poly back up for brim fishing, and in particular tournaments. So what I thought I'd do is we're going to have a bit of a rundown on what I think is one of the most important pieces of kit when it comes to tournaments, and that's of course your electric motor. Now there's plenty of different brands. You've got your Minn Kotas, you've got Motor Guides, you've got Haswing, but a brand that I keep coming back to, and it's for a very peculiar reason that I'll run through later, is the Watersnake. Now guys, don't think that to get into brim tournaments you need a really flashy boat. You don't need something that costs $1 million. In fact, what we're running here is of course the pink Polycraft. We've got the 40 horsepower on the back, and as you can see, electric up the front, plenty of storage, which is really important for, or what I believe is important for tournament fishing, because you don't have anything on the deck. And of course a live well. Now, yeah, granted this is a brand new 410 Challenger, or as near new as you can, because we've looked after it, but as I said, you don't need it. In fact, plenty of tournaments were won on cheap, listen to that, whew, were won on really cheap boats. But anyway, back to the Watersnake. The Watersnake is not something that's new to me. I've used them through and through. I've used all the other brands except for Motor Guide, actually, admittedly. And whilst the other brands are great, so are the Watersnakes. Now don't think that the Watersnakes don't have their problems, because they do. You're probably going to find that these are one of the noisiest motors when the turning motor is running you're ever going to find. I mean, these things will wake the dead. But where they do come into their own is they're cheap and affordable. I mean, this one here was from Anaconda, and it was like $300 or something for a 54-pound 12-volt foot steer. Now, I mentioned to you, I'd tell you why I like them. Let me just pop this hatch. Let's see if I can get in here. Never heard of it. This is why I like the Watersnake the most. This thing. So this foot pedal here, as I'll show you now, is as simple as it comes. Go button, left button, right button, on off, like continuous on off, and of course your foot, your speed dial. Now this is as simple as it gets. Imagine this is the foot. Heel on the go button, left and right. Simple, isn't it? There is not a more simple foot pedal on the market. And I'm telling you, that is the easiest foot pedal that you could ever want to use. And you know what? These Watersnakes are damn reliable. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run a quick bit of footage now of us using Watersnakes. Not necessarily this Combat here, but Watersnakes that we've had on previous boats, be it the Tuffy or the little Punt or whatever. They're two different models other than the Combat, of course, but all much the muchness when it comes to the Watersnake realm in the more budget area, because none of these motors have had, you know, like all your fancy gizmos of spot locks and stuff on. Now keep in mind, there is also no substitute for spot lock, and my Minn Kota that I had was an absolute ripper with spot lock. But let's run some of this footage now, guys, and we'll see what it looks like. can see there, guys, they're absolutely perfect. And I mean, it's gone on the front of the pink poly here so easily. I'm going to show you what I've done actually, because what we haven't done is we haven't mounted it like standard where it's a permanent fixture to the boat, because this boat does spend a fair whack of time in the blue water as well. So what we've done is we've put the quick release bracket on, okay? I'm going to try and lift this with one hand. All right, and we'll put that down there. So on the bottom of this motor, as you can see here, you've got this poly block here with a big hole in the middle. Now that hole there goes over the top of this plate here, which is it's what they call the quick release bracket. This U-shaped pin here goes through these holes here, but on this side here, and you'll see down the bottom here, it's a little clamp, like a little pressure clamp if you wish, that holds the U bolt in, or the U steel. It just makes things really quick and easy. I mean, honestly, to put this motor on and off, so if I want to go out in the ocean, I just rip it off like I just did. If I want to go chase brim, I just put it straight back on, it goes straight over the top. You can't get much more simple than that. As I said, it's an absolute asset to the 410 Challenger. I could go through a million reasons why the 410 Challenger probably is the most versatile and perfect tournament fishing rig for Western Australia. But I think we'll make that another video. A lot of guys will argue you need a lot more horsepower than 40 horsepower. Well, guess what? Half the systems that we fish these tournaments in don't allow you to go above 5 to 8 knots anyway for a lot of it. So you really waste, power in our systems isn't as advantageous as what it can be on the East Coast, where they can do, stupidly long runs at full speed. But anyway, that's another video. Let's not go into that. So in summary, would I recommend you guys go and get a Watersnake over other manufacturers' electrics? Well, yeah, sure, absolutely. If you're on the budget, don't for a second think that you need to go spend thousands upon thousands to be competitive, because it's simply not true. These motors here, as I said, for around the $500 odd mark, are absolutely lethal, and they absolutely do the job. On the previous boats, like on my Coraline Stealth that I had, and some of my other tinnies that I've used for the tournaments, we've placed ridiculously well. A couple of top 3 finishes. Thanks Ash, thanks Aaron. And of course a huge amount of top 10 finishes as well using these motors, so the noise doesn't scare them away too much. They work. Guys, I hope this little video on of course the Watersnakes was somewhat helpful to you, to at least give you a bit of confidence in buying something that's not what the cool crew would classify as the in thing, but more or less something that'll get you in on an affordable budget. Okay guys, keep it whatever you want to keep in it. It's bloody wet outside. I'm cold. I'm going inside, and we'll see you on the next episode. Catch you later.